It just doesn't make sense.
And let me say this, people, please go look at what, on that property, please go look and see what was presented to the state as the layout, what they was gonna do with that property. What they presented to the state is not what is on the layout. West Side Youth Facility was not on that layout. I'm one of the ones with a lot of more people that was in that district. We went to those meetings and those hearings in Porterdale when they was trying to zone it, annex it into Porterdale and sell it as that. And from my understanding, and which is on the layout, it's supposed to be a mixed development. It's supposed to be houses and apartments. So why would you go do that again and put a youth facility in the middle of where apartments and houses gonna be? And you're gonna have the same problem that you got on Fairview now. You're gonna have the same problem.
And the other issue I have with that is you're gonna have kids crossing a major highway or intersection to get to the facility. If you know Brown Ridge Road and Carl Road, you know that's a busy area, it has no sidewalks, and it's surrounded by gas stations. Why would you put your kids in an unsafe environment to have to cross the road to get to a facility? Because the whole purpose is to make sure it's catered to the most dense area. That's what's the whole purpose. You have all these subdivisions that are in that square, and then you have 3 schools in that square. So now you tell these kids they're gonna have to walk all the way from Fairview, Jack, Dillon, Kirkland, and all these places to get to Crowell Road, to cross an intersection, to get to their youth facility. Guess I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen if the commission decides to put it there. The kids are not going. So we're gonna spend millions of dollars on something they're not gonna patronize. Why? Because the parents can't get them there if they can't get there. Because the whole point of putting in a community where the kids can walk to it is that if the parents have to get out of work late, the kids can go to the facility after school and be able to get accessible to them. It's not gonna be utilized. And the parents are like, I don't feel like driving over there to bring you to this youth facility, especially if they work every day. So you have to make it convenient for the kids to be able to utilize it. Not put it in the area because you just don't want it in District 3. In the area just to be spiteful. That's what it looks like.
That looks spiteful.
If I could just really kind of piggyback on Commissioner Sanders in her district. There has been no commissioners that I've been on board who have suggested that we do something in their district that the commissioners passed or the ones in there. For example, we're staying with the fire station, unbudgeted money, $5 million, $5 million plus. We put in the district. I said, well, who am I, J.C. Henderson? Commissioner Sanders said the same thing. Who am I to stop putting a fire station in a community that won't one? We were not against it. We were with it. But as soon as Commissioner Sanders went out and found some property, and so we're going to talk about my property, found some property, she couldn't sell it because they had said you had to have a 2 acre minimum for one house. And the developer wouldn't buy it. And so you got property in the district, you could have did another city pond, another dead dog park. I named dead dog park because I've been there. And because I was helping out the district commission in that particular district. But make a long story short, there's no reason that we should be bypassing that property that Commissioner Sanders wants, that we can do something really great in that area for the community, kids, seniors, etc. Say we did all the time. It's the once in a lifetime that we're gonna have that property there, because there's not too many more property around Union County that we need, if we could buy and build something really nice for the community for a lifetime. As long as we live, we don't know what happened after them, but I pray that it's gonna be good for a lifetime. And yet we bypass it for the wrong reason. Now, should we want? Yeah, we should. You don't have to march. Start getting rid of folks. I'm still struggling with why we doing marching and doing all this signing papers. Get rid of them. Go out. Recall.
And one of the things they see is that Des Moines got everything in his district. And it's just going to be up that he don't see where she doesn't need something. Des Moines voted along with y'all to get that part, and he won't do it. And that's our spite.
Well, just let me say this. I want to say this. if it's something convenient for a commission, I'm gonna call a name you can put together, going to it, and person that know, convenient to move, to get what they may want, a certain situation they wanna be in, we will. But when it comes down to poor underserved areas, poor black folks, like myself, they bypass it. They start funding. Nelson Heights, they probably been there for, I know it's in 2010, they stopped the funding. So, oh, you get that's ordinary, that's what it's called. Only thing I'm trying to say, somebody just hit me. Then some members, well, you get paid. They go out and throw little wisecracks at them, and that's wrong on their part. Even down here at Miss Terry James, Juneteenth, that Tiki Allen building, they won't even give her a contract. Won't give her a contract. That's the first and only black place that we had in Newton County to help us with our history of our people and I know where we came from. I know where we came from to know where we're going. And they won't do that. Is something wrong with that picture? Or am I just the old man on the corner over here just talking and just talking to myself? There's something wrong with that picture. And then you could beat them. I'm gonna say it. They won't get mad at me. I'm gonna say this. You could beat them with Mr. Adams, we were living. They'll come to the board commission, you get all these plans, hand out to them, oh, we love you, but yet when you put something in their name, they go out and they won't forget it. So, oh, we don't want to do it. We don't want to give them a country. It should tell you something right there. They already over there talking about my friend all the time. We just want to put a sign down there, recognize him for the work that he done in his lifetime. We don't want to do that. We just want to put a sign over here for the Black Easter Boys, which I was a small child in it, who walked to the city of Cup. They don't want to do it. That's our history. That's our history. Okay, now. Don't forget about you.
So, if anyone else have any questions, this be a good time, because we got to get ready to wrap it up, so you have your time to speak
And
now.
I don't know if you guys heard of the last meeting. I did hear your meeting where, and that's probably why Commissioner might be upset with me because I called him out about it because I actually verified it. The last meeting, Commissioner Collins said that he spoke to Ms. Monk, and she was going to be here today, but she has a horrible bronchitis situation.
Yeah.
She said that she never got a call from anybody in the county asking her to negotiate her right. So that was a lie.
Maybe it would benefit if those representatives would come to a VOC meeting and state the same thing in public to those of us who attend, so that no one can say that was not said by the party.
She said she would, but they have to, guess what? They have to put her, she can do it in citizen
She has
comments.
to be on the
They
agenda.
won't put her on the agenda. That's the
Well, then
problem.
we need to flood their offices with calls demanding
Yeah.
that until this moves forward, that they place those individuals on the agenda that can speak from the ownership of that property and their statements as to where they stand on offering that and move forward from there. If we have to flood their offices with calls and saying, we need to see it on the agenda, if we want transparency, you need to have those people there because we are getting everybody's statements, but not the family.
Right.
And anybody can put a twist on anything that poor woman says.
Yeah.
So she needs to be on the agenda, she needs to speak and say, this is what we, as the property owners or the representatives of, are willing to do.
That's what we need to do.
We need to flood Marcella Baines' office, and I would say Baines, because he is the chairperson. Call his office and request that Ms. Monk be placed on the agenda to speak again to the public about the status of that property and where it stands with negotiations with the county. That's, to me, the clearest, straightforward. Then there's nobody who can say, well, she said this and she said this. We, the public, will hear from her lips.
Yes.
Well, I think, Vic, what we need to do then as a group at the next meeting go to the podium when citizens comment, and all of us that feel like that, go up there and make it public that we asked them for that. That would be more, and we could put it
Well,
on the
we
spot.
can do that, but we can also, because they have a record of incoming calls, correct? Do you not have?
I believe they do.
I believe there is, in those settings, a log of incoming calls, especially as a voting constituent. Then we can follow up if necessary from the well speaking that we want, but I think we
I don't
do
believe
need.
it, I don't believe that, I don't believe that, you may get the call.
Yeah,
But it's not
No, ma'am,
wrong.
you're not.
Nobody don't answer.
But let me say
Oh,
this,
yeah.
let me say this real quick, I'm gonna shut up. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say this, it's not Marcel, Chairman Bain,
Correct.
it's the mom. That's when you need to be calling, that's when you need to blow his phone up. Because all thing takes is three little votes, got 1 or 2, and he will be the third vote.
But
That's all it
he,
takes.
but he's not going to be able to request that Ms. Monk come.
We're talking about buying the property. I mean, we don't have to have her to come up and say, well, we gonna get this. We know what it costs, about $2 million. $2 million.
Yeah, what she talking about,
$2
what she talking about, what she talking about, is
Put her on the record.
declare. He'll say, you know, we said this here, let her speak for herself. Ms. Monk speak for herself.
I want to hear what comes out of her lips, because then there is no one who can tell me what she said.
That's right.
Because I will hear from her what her position is as representative, etc.
And it'll be on the record.
Absolutely, it's on the record.
And also, there was a mention about the plans. He said that nobody gave him the plans. I went right after I heard the meeting and went straight to Parks and Rec, and Parks and Rec has those plans sitting right there.
If we get that permit and march around out there in front of that courthouse and
There you
put her
go. You
on
own
the
it.
agenda, that'd help too.
You own it.
Well,
Get out there and march around in front of
But
the
we
courthouse.
need to do this, boys, let's try to contact, and would she be willing to come if we got it?
She told me that she would come before the board and the people. She was gonna, like I said, she was gonna come today, but I do know that she's ill with her bronchitis.
and Mr. Archie, as the person who founded this group, you might reach out and ask Mrs. Monk, or Ms. Monk, however she's.
That's totally Ms. Monk.
You should ask her if we approach it from this, would she be willing to speak in public at the BOC for all the world to see and hear? And then we will follow through with our other course of action. But that would give us an idea of what her feelings are about it, because I'm sure she's probably fed up with the county pulling her back and forth,
No,
you
she
know.
won't, she won't just sit in there, and I spoke with her, and she told me too, when I spoke with her, that she had bronchitis and everything.
Good.
But, I've talked to her, the thing is, getting her, JC, you said they won't let her do it. You said they won't let her come and speak.
Well, I didn't see, I said, even, I don't see nobody that was willing to come and speak. I'm pretty sure that you get 3 commissions, put whatever you want on it. The question is, if you get 3 commissions. The problem is from my perspective, I'm sorry, I give my opinion, most times people don't want to hear it. From my perspective, I think we're trying to reinvent the wheel. You said yourself, y'all said yourself, if we have 3 commissioners, you should really want to do it. Should be a problem with it. Should be a problem with it. So then we got the SPT funds, come around, and count one time, which she could have said to the developer, 2 acres minimum for 1 house, but that's not possible, we don't want to buy it. And then she's paying tax on the property, that the family, I think it's a family, who wants to get rid of it, they can't get rid of it, they want to sell it. And so she running around trying to get that, and the bottom line is gonna take 3 commissioners to do it. Now, Marcel Bain, Chairman Bain maybe can stop the meeting and when they get ready to vote or something, but, He's gonna take 3 commissioners to buy that property,
But-
give it access.
But let me ask this now, what Richie is saying, can she come just like we do when time to, you know, citizen comment?
Yeah, she's a former commissioner, she was a commissioner for 30 years ago. So she's the first female commissioner in the
But I'm thinking too that if she's on the agenda,
Yeah.
that's always the key word when it comes to any
Yeah.
public comment. If you're on the agenda or not on the agenda, because that last period of the meeting is a worthless time for citizen comment.
I agree.
By the time that time arrives, people have left.
Yeah.
So she needs to be on the agenda. It needs to be part of the West Side Rec agenda ongoing issue.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Denise?
that's my thought.
I just have one last question. So we seen in the paper that they put the finalists on there, the 2 people that are the finalists for the county manager position. So where are we at with that? Are we in the stage where we can, the commission can go ahead and vote on it? Or what, where are we at on that?
Well, we just have to select between the 2. To put my spin on it, I pray that we pick the most qualified. You guys saw who's a qualified person in the paper, put the actual individuals and their qualifications. My only concern is that we don't pick the most qualified, we're gonna be back in the same position a year later. In my opinion, I'll only speak on me, I believe that we should pick somebody that doesn't know anyone on their board. They can start with a fresh start, and they come in and they have no business. We don't need someone that knows anybody on the board or staff in Newton County. I'm gonna be honest, it has nothing against the other candidates or anybody candidates. I think they're all great people. They all interview very well. But we need somebody who's gonna take this county to the next level and has the experience of taking this county to the next level. That's gonna be no nonsense, do it the legal way, and does not, and on equal playing ground with every commissioner. That's what needs to happen. And there's one candidate that has that. And so that's my only concern is what I heard through the grapevine, and I'm gonna put it out here. I was heard that they were not gonna go with that candidate because they didn't want another black educated female, like myself.
Okay,
And that's the word that's going around, okay, for sure.
we don't vote this.
I think it's,
We
I think it's a
need
good,
to say-
transparent plan moving forward, and then, if we don't see something out of that, the gentleman who did such a beautiful job with the editorial in the newspaper, we can ask him if he would write something to the effect of, even after having Ms. Monk come back, et cetera, we still aren't moving forward with an appropriate action plan for the West Side Rec Department.
We gotta do that.
Because that gives it back again by having it in the paper. People who don't come to the BOC meeting, who aren't gonna pull up YouTube, who may not have any interest in the long-winded meetings, will see in a concise package what is the status of the West Side Rec debate, or debacle as it is
I
now.
think, one thing, they're gonna see this, and they're gonna see this meeting today. The commission, myself, and them gonna see it. So, that's what we'll do, we'll ask them.
I think it's a way to move forward where we are being transparent as an organization, asking for feedback, transparency, and a plan of action on a debacle, because this is a debacle now. It's no longer just wasting time, it's a debacle. It's ridiculous to have this kind of infighting going on in this county. It's just ridiculous. And I'm sorry my son is fixing lunch for me, so I'm going to have to leave.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Crawford, you wanna, dismiss us?
Yes, please.
And, thank everyone for coming, and I hope you got something